Hey you guys, it's MJ from Love. I felt like going live really quickly because I was getting this insight about like what is self-reflection and self-study, what does it look like? And I just wanted to give you a bit of like just offering around self-reflection and the art of self-reflection and or self-study and why it's useful. Now we know that an ultimate spiritual teaching is to know thyself, and we live in a world that sort of programs us all to believe that we're all supposed to be like each other, we're all supposed to be the same, or we're all supposed to be equal. And ultimately in this age of transformation, it's these paradoxical insights around, in truth, our unity in as a whole is discovered via our own self sovereignty. So in my sovereignty, I can actually serve the whole, because it's that wholeness that we're all moving into. And then, in a world that's just so busy and apparently like distracting us and having all these like webs of controller energy and corruption and domination, it's like, well, how on earth do we create time to self-reflect? How on earth, what's the point of slowing down and da-da-da, because I've got this, that, and the other, right? And it's ultimately reprogramming our mind, which is then reprogramming the entire field that we are, and then the world that we see as well. So there's a few little pointers around this practice of self-reflection. And obviously, if you think about it, self-reflection helps us to get to know ourself. It helps us to look at our behaviors, good and bad. It helps us to look at our patterns, good and bad, and and or when I work with people and I talk about it in the Fearless Life Guide, streaming consciousness. So I've got my little journal. I literally, since my early awakenings, have never not had a journal. So well, even before the awakenings, I traveled to Germany when I was 16, and yeah, I started journaling. And to me, it's always been such an effective way of like offloading. It was part of my own intuitive practice when I was doing deeper healing in India 10 years ago, and like, healing patterns with my family or healing patterns with my relationship with men. And oftentimes when we express in the form of writing a letter, we don't have to send it to the people, just write the letter, express the vibes, express how you feel, and then release it, let it go. And sometimes just stuff coming through us, ideas, insights about our life and our place in it, poetry, just streaming creativity. Because when we have a journal, again, nobody needs to look at it. It doesn't need to be published or anything. That creative expression can lead us to other creative expressions. So I find that painting or like freestyle expression. So I'm talking things like 5 rhythms or ecstatic dance, things that are creating a container for you to just freely express. Because if we don't freely express, then we can't discover our edges, right? We can't discover, do I really like this, or am I just doing it because I'm supposed to exercise? So there's a real difference between like doing something because we think it's good or bad, right? Versus like letting energy and resonance like pull you and or drive you forward in your life, right? Like I was teaching a lot of drama and dance and auditioning for plays and TV commercials, and that process of like, all those auditions and like, me, the underlying feeling resonance as well of like in the the entertainment business was never going to work for me ultimately. So for me, it was like, I had just this powerful intention of I just want it to be easy. Like I don't want to have to struggle. So then I meet Mohan. It was like this is easy for you. You're bendy, like you understand metaphysics. You get that feeling connection. Like this is going to be easier for you. So it's only through us noodling, inner reflection or self-reflection that ultimately helps us to really navigate our own path very consciously with greater awareness. Because truly without that capacity, and I suppose I like to talk about this because self-study is a foundational practice in yoga as an 8-pillared path to enlightenment, and it's often, I would say, what we miss in our modern representation of yoga. yoga is like go to a class and stretch for most of us, sometimes sit still. But we don't often talk about like, let's just reflect on our day to day. You know, how did it feel? What happened today? You know, and or something that a lot of us as introverts or empaths, we would just always naturally do that. And I feel that's part of the service here. Part of the service is just to share like the natural intuitive practices and or exercise that help us from within to create more feelings of joy, to create more feelings of love, so that we can show up for one another in that way, rather than showing up for one another from a place of like always trying to get stuff from each other, versus like just sharing ourselves, like sharing our purity. As in any given moment, it's like, what do I want to share with people? I want to share the art of self-reflection, because I've always been very self-reflective, and now I've put it like with the theme of aloneness, and I'm going to continue to talk more about things like aloneness as well. But today I wanted to add a nice little like essence to, or angle to, what can seem like this infinite abyss of aloneness when one is alone. And yet, like I write in the Fearless Life Guide, rather than the kind of Piscean or separation messaging of you live and die alone, I rather think of it as we live and die as one. So we're all eternal, and so nobody ever really dies in that way. We just shapeshift. We just take on new form in as far as the essence of our energy. So none of us ever, the essence of the truth of aliveness and creation never dies. So when we can harmonize our awareness to that eternal state of being, we just, life just becomes this miraculous, beautiful thing. And it's so beautiful that you just want, you want everybody to join you in all the beauty. And I feel that more and more and more. So thank you. Thanks for coming along on the ride with me. And getting emotion as per fucking use. But mostly just, yeah, lots of love and gratitude, a gushy overflow gratitude for all y'all. I'm just sort of taking a little break. I am over the moon with the amount of you that are booking intuitive tarot readings. I woke up this morning and had 5 bookings come through overnight. And it's like a dream come true. I had a while when I was really dipping into like financial chaos and fear. And I used to have this mantra: I make money online, I make money while I sleep, I make money online, I make money while I sleep. And I can firmly, as of today, say that that is happening. Because I woke up and I made a bunch of money online while I was sleeping. So I'm incredibly relieved. Because that's, you know, anyone who's hit really tough times financially, it's pretty awesome when you're not in there anymore. And you're seeing lights at ends of tunnels, and you're seeing angels' hands reach down and help you. And yeah, it's a really beautiful ride, you guys. I'm happy to be here. Finally. It's only taken me 37 years to say that with great conviction, but I'm really happy to be here with all of you. So thanks a lot for joining me, and I hope that that was useful to you. And I'm just giving you lots of love, hot vibrashe, and virtual hugs. And I know the hair is looking a little bit of a mess. I'm gonna tone it down. I'm gonna get it sorted. I'm having some really amazing integrated insights around, yeah, relationships, programming, stuff like that. It's pretty radical, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm digging on it because it feels good. So I'll continue to share with you guys. Have a great day. Peace out.